December 4th, 2018, Dubai. You're watching a British man board aircraft, extradition transport. Christian Michel, 55, consultant, British citizen, leaving United Arab Emirates, destination, Delhi. Waiting in India, 2 agencies, 2 sets of charges. Aircraft lands, Delhi. Officers waiting. Transfer executed from airport to custody, from custody to investigation. December 22nd, 18 days later, Enforcement Directorate formally arrests Michel. Money laundering case. Different charges from CBI. 2 agencies, 2 cases, same person. Tihar Jail, Delhi, Asia's largest prison complex. Michel enters as accused, not convicted, not tried, accused. 7 years later, still waiting. 1 extradition, 2 agencies, 0 convictions. How long can investigation last before it becomes imprisonment? February 2010. India finalizes defense contract, 12 helicopters. Augusta Westland AW101, VVIP transport. Very important person aircraft. Manufacturer, Augusta Westland. British-Italian defense company. Global supplier. Contract value, £344 million, $400 million, 3,600 crore rupees. 12 helicopters for Indian Air Force VVIP fleet. Modern equipment. International standard. Deal looks normal. Government procurement. Established manufacturer. But procurement this size attracts attention. Involves multiple decision makers. Creates opportunities for intermediaries. Christian Michel enters not as manufacturer, not as official, as consultant, middleman. What does consultant mean in defense contracts? Officially, provides market access, understands local requirements, facilitates communication. Unofficially, knows who to pay, how much, through which channels. Michel positions himself as having Indian connections, understanding procurement, relationships with decision makers. Augusta Westland needs someone local, someone with access. Contract gets signed. February 2010. £344 million committed. Michel gets paid. Substantial amounts. How much? Sky News. £26 million. Indian investigators, €30 million. Some charge sheets, €42 million. The variation tells you something. Different investigators counted different transactions. Money moved through many channels. Millions changing hands. Not for manufacturing, for facilitating. Contract proceeds. Helicopters begin production. Payments flow. Separate payments flow through various structures to intermediaries, including Michel. For 3 years, everything appears fine. Until 2013. Investigations begin. Italian prosecutors examine Augusta Westland contracts. Indian authorities launch parallel probe. Questions about middlemen payments, inflated prices, unauthorized commissions. £344 million contract becomes scandal. Michel, by this point, has left India, lives in Dubai, outside Indian jurisdiction, until December 2018, when extradition brings him back. 1 contract, 12 helicopters, millions in payments. How much consultation justifies £26 million? Christian Michel doesn't work alone. Defense contracts require networks. Michel's partner, David Sims, business associate, named in Enforcement Directorate charge sheets. They operate through corporate structures, not personal accounts. Global Trade and Commerce Limited. 1 entity investigators identify. Global Services FZE. Another structure involved. Paper entities. Existing to receive and transfer funds. Indian side proves complicated. Air Chief Marshal S.P. Tyagi, former Chief of Air Staff. Key figure investigators identify. Tyagi held position during critical period, when specifications set, when evaluations occurred, when decisions made. Investigators allege Michel paid Tyagi and associates, influenced specifications, ensured Augusta Westland met requirements while competitors did not. Italian prosecutors add more names. Indian political figures, government advisors. Ahmed Patel, political advisor. Name appears in Italian materials. Allegations of receiving payments. but proving network proves difficult. Money moves through offshore structures, payments disguised as consultation fees, corporate layers obscure recipients. Michel maintains position as consultant, legitimate businessman, denies illegal payments, denies corruption, denies bribing officials. The network, if it exists, operates professionally. Corporate structures, multiple jurisdictions, legitimate appearing documentation, not cash in bags, wire transfers between companies, contracts for services, invoices for consultation. Investigation must prove. These weren't legitimate fees. This was bribery. This violated law. Enforcement Directorate focuses on money trail. 30 million euros through global trade and global services. Central Bureau of Investigation focuses on influence. Specifications favoring AgustaWestland. Decisions excluding competitors. Two agencies, different approaches, same target. Challenge. Michel operated from outside India. Used international structures. Methods looked legitimate unless you prove corrupt intent. Requires evidence beyond transfers. Requires proof of quid pro quo. Requires demonstrating connection between payments and official actions. Evidence gathering takes years. Interviews, documents, international cooperation. While investigation proceeds, Michel remains in Dubai, outside jurisdiction. Until December 2018, UAE agrees to extradition. The network investigators claim Michel and Sims facilitating payments, Tyagi and others receiving them, AgustaWestland paying everyone. Proving it requires evidence that stands in court, evidence justifying 7 years pretrial detention. One consultant, one partner, multiple structures, millions in transfers. How many connections must you prove before network becomes conspiracy? 26 million pounds, Sky News. 30 million euros, Enforcement Directorate. 42 million euros, Central Bureau of Investigation. Different numbers, same question. How much did Michel receive? Variation isn't contradiction. Different investigators counting different transactions, different portions, different time periods. What matters? Substantial sums from defense manufacturer through intermediaries to individuals including Michel. The route, according to investigators, AgustaWestland makes payments. Officially, consultation fees, market access, standard business expenses. Money flows to corporate entities, Global Trade and Commerce Limited, Global Services FZE. Structures associated with Michel and Sims. From corporate accounts, money moves again. Multiple transfers, different jurisdictions, creating distance. Some funds reach Michel directly, personal accounts, consultation income. Other funds, investigators allege, go forward, to Indian officials, to people who influence decisions. 42 million euros. CBI mentions, intended for paying decision makers. Proving requires tracking across jurisdictions. Cooperation from multiple countries' banking systems. Demonstrating legitimate-looking payments actually constituted bribery. Enforcement Directorate charge sheet names David Sims, identifies structures, traces 30 million euros from AgustaWestland through accounts. But tracing money isn't same as proving crime. Need to demonstrate payments were unauthorized, violated terms, exceeded legitimate fees, payments had corrupt purpose, intended to influence decisions. Michel knew the purpose, participated willingly, facilitated corruption. Challenge of offshore corruption. Everyone uses corporate structures. Everyone uses intermediaries. Everyone pays consultation fees. Distinguishing legitimate business from criminal enterprise requires evidence beyond transactions. Requires emails discussing bribes, recorded conversations, documentary evidence of corrupt intent. That evidence exists, investigators claim. Communications between Michel and AgustaWestland. Discussions of payments to specific officials. Plans for distributing funds. Michel denies everything. Legitimate consultant, proper services, legal fees for legal work. The money, he maintains, compensated genuine consultation, market access, relationship management, all normal in international defense sales. 7 years later, no trial has tested these claims. No verdict determined which version is true. Meanwhile, money sits as frozen assets. Corporate structures under investigation. 30 million euros, or 42 million, or 26 million pounds exists in legal limbo, just like Michel himself. 3 amounts, 2 investigations, 1 question. How much consultation legitimately costs versus how much constitutes bribery? Tihar Jail, Delhi, December 2018. Christian Michel enters custody. Not as convicted criminal, as accused, awaiting trial. Tihar houses thousands. Convicted prisoners, accused awaiting trial. Different categories. Michel becomes one number among many. Days settle into pattern. Wake, count, meals. Court production when scheduled. Legal consultations. Back to cell. Repeat. Not convicted, but not free. 7 years, 2,560 days, approximately. Most trials complete faster. Conviction or acquittal. Sentence served. Freedom regained. Michel's case remains in investigation. Evidence gathering. Charge sheet preparation. Court scheduling. Adjournments. Postponements. Delays. Meanwhile, detention continues. Family visits when possible. Lawyers coordinate strategy. British diplomatic officials check conditions. But day to day, accused in Tihar. Waiting. Years of waiting. Psychological toll of indefinite detention. No trial date. No certainty when case proceeds. No verdict foreseeable. Each court date brings hope. Maybe proceedings advance. Maybe trial starts. Maybe resolution approaches. Each adjournment extends limbo. More months. More postponements. More uncertainty. Michel maintains innocence throughout. Legitimate consultant. Proper fees. No corruption. But innocence doesn't speed trial. Doesn't change investigation timeline. Doesn't affect court scheduling. 7 years accumulate. December 2018 becomes December 2025. Still awaiting complete trial. Still in custody. Still accused but not convicted. Letters describe conditions. Legal filings document detention length. Bail applications cite prolonged imprisonment. The facility, just detention. Not punishment for conviction. Not sentence being served. Holding while case proceeds. Except when case proceeds slowly enough, detention becomes indistinguishable from punishment. How many years does investigation justify? How long before accused deserves trial or release? 2 agencies investigating. 2 sets of charges. Central Bureau of Investigation. Corruption. Bribery. Influencing defense procurement through illegal payments. Allegations. Michel paid Indian officials including Air Chief Marshal S.P. Tyagi. Influenced technical specifications. Ensured AgustaWestland won contract over competitors. Charges include criminal conspiracy, corruption under Prevention of Corruption Act, forgery, evidence. CBI claims, communications between Michel and AgustaWestland, documents discussing payments, references to specific officials. Investigation began 2013 after Italian prosecutors raised questions. Charge sheet filed eventually. Case proceeds slowly. Enforcement Directorate, money laundering, proceeds of crime, violations under PMLA. Allegations, 30 million euros received by Michel and Sims from AgustaWestland, constitute proceeds of scheduled offense, laundered through Global Trade and Commerce Limited and Global Services FZE. Evidence ED claims, banking records, wire transfer documentation, corporate structure analysis, financial trail from AgustaWestland through intermediaries. 2 parallel cases mean double proceedings. CBI case advances through certain stages, while ED case moves separately. Different courts, different schedules, different bail considerations. Michel faces both simultaneously, must defend against corruption allegations and money laundering charges. Defense position, legitimate business consultant.